Move over, boy who lived. There's a new witch in town, with a non problematic author at that, might I add. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I am Rainbow Hearts Villain Thoughts, and today I'll be reviewing The Witch and His Crow by Ben Alderson. Now, just so you know, while reviewing this book, I'll first give you the facts about each point and then my own personal opinion slash how I felt about it. So, first of all, what is this book about? Well, this book follows Hector Breyer, a young witch who, when young, had to listen to his mother and father's untimely demise at the hands of witch hunters. Young Hector is thrown into chaos after hiding for 18 years when he's finally captured by his coven, and his blood is used to start the witch trials, a deadly system of trials designed to pick the next Grand High Witch, which the last one was Hector's mother. This book is full of twists and turns, enemies to lovers, demonic forces, and of course, magic. Now, I will say I absolutely adored the concept of this book. It was really interesting. I don't want to give too much away right now because I do have points I want to get through. So, yeah, let's get through those first. So, first of all, before I continue on further, it's time for the content warning. Today's book features a heated scene, death, violence, murder, mention of the witch trials, burning at the stake, and foul language. If any of that is upsetting to you, I highly suggest you skip this book. But if you're okay with that, let's continue on with the heat warning. So, this book's heat warning is probably a 2 or 3 out of 5. There is open door heat, however, that is kind of not that much. It's one scene near the end. Quite frankly, to me, it was kind of a meh situation. It wasn't anything too thrilling or too scandalous. There wasn't much detail, which really surprised me. Considering um Ben Alderson also wrote the Lord of Eternal Night, which had a lot of heat in it and was somewhat detailed. This book didn't. So I was a little surprised by that, honestly. It wasn't necessarily a deal breaker, but it was something that I thought was a little meh about the book. So I'm not going to lie. That was kind of a bit of a letdown. So, next up, we're going to talk about the characters of this book. Now, I'm only going to be talking about the main character and his love interest. There are a couple of other characters, but I don't want to give too much away of the book itself. So, first off, Hector Breyer. Hector is a young witch in his early 20s. His gift is the ability to basically create a force, like using wind to force enemies away, hit enemies, grab enemies, bring them to him. It's what he refers to as his gift, since magic in the book kind of shifted from agent magic to having gifts that are one type of element or so. Hector is definitely very full of himself. He thinks that he's going to be the next Grand High because it's kind of his destiny or his duty to his mother. He thinks he's better than everyone else. He kind of expects everyone to stay out of his way. He doesn't like being the center of attention. And because of that, Hector really didn't want to do these trials in the first place. But when they start having to take place because they unlock the trials using his blood, he's like, you know what? I'm going to be the next Grand High. Especially due to the secret he finds out. A little plot that I won't bring up, but it's really the driving force of Hector in this book is to become the next Grand High Witch in order to really show what he's capable of and to defend his coven. I gotta say, I think Hector is a relatable character because he is kind of driven by duty, but also driven by pride, which really kind of says more about his character than anything. He's a prideful person, but he truly loved his parents, especially his mother. I will say it's kind of a weird thing in this book. It's mainly focused on his mother, his kind of longing and loss. His father kind of takes a back seat to obscurity, which I found was a little weird, and a little disappointing. So, all in all, I think Hector Breyer is an interesting character. I, for one, didn't really hate him, but at the same time, it wasn't like I was going to sit down and write a full page paper, on his character development or on him. He is pretty much your, I would say, basic main character, main hero, who's also very stubborn, and prone to doing things his way, even when it's kind of recommended not to. So, next up is Arwen Morgan. He is the love interest. He is, I think, a little older than Hector, not by much, still in his 20s. He is tattooed, blue eyed, and is the rival to Hector. He also wants to become the next Grand High Witch. His magic is something I won't touch on because it's kind of a interesting subject, but one that kind of does blow the plot a bit. So I don't want to give you spoilers, but his gift is very interesting. Arwen is very mysterious throughout the entire book. We don't know much about him or his past. Hector tries to understand him to kind of wheedle into his mystery, his secrecy, but Arwen is typically a step ahead of him. He's very anti truth telling in a way. And the ending of this book kind of reveals why, which was a big shock to me, and I feel is the big revelation of this book. I will say Arwen is the main driving force of the second book. I have not read it yet, but judging by the end of the first book, he is a big driving force of the next book. So Arwen is kind of driven at first, it seems, by his longing to seem better than everyone else. He kind of has this air about him that he's, a very interesting person, but he doesn't care to announce himself, if that makes sense. Arwen is very. It's hard to talk about Arwen. He's interesting. It's all I can really say about Arwen because he is a pivotal driving force of this book, I feel. And the ending just completely wow. Um, I think Arwen is relatable to those who are kind of driven by duty as well, similar to Hector, but also someone who is people who are mysterious or don't want to talk about their past for various reasons. I think they would relate well to Arwen. Also, if you like the cool, brooding type of character, you know, Arwen's your guy. I kind of thought Arwen was a little annoying at first. He was a character I wanted to figure everything out about, similar to how Hector felt about him. And near the end, it was kind of I don't know, it felt kind of interesting but weird at the same time, kind of thinking about who Arwen was and, how interesting, I guess. I'm kind of rambling here. It's so hard to talk about Arwen. It is. Anyway, next up we're going to talk about the pacing of this book. Now, the pacing was very interesting. It was smooth, I think. There weren't really parts, to me at least, where the book kind of dragged on. I didn't really feel that. There wasn't really that kind of thing. Every part made sense to the development of the book, to the characters' development. Um, just, pacing was well, 10 out of 10 pacing. I, for one, feel like there wasn't anything that could have been done to improve the pacing. Again, it was pretty good. Um, everything I've read books that really butcher the pacing and make it seem kind of crappy. Things are thrown in that are really filler. There wasn't really filler in this book. Now, the heated scene, I will say, is probably the only part where the pacing seems kind of off because it's very kind of, I don't know, it feels really rushed during the heated scene. I will say that much about the pacing not being perfect. So maybe a 9 out of 10. Uh I kind of wish the pacing for that had been better, but you know, it is it is what it is, it's I wish it had been better. And there were certain parts, admittedly, where the book kind of could have benefited from a little more hurriedness, a little quicker. But I think the pace itself, the way it was throughout the book, mattered to how the book was. It really mattered and made sense. And I like that about this book. Now, world building. Oh, world building. So, this book is world building is really interesting. We get to learn about how magic looks like now. We get a feel of how the coven works and behaves. We kind of get a feel of the trial, not kind of, but we definitely get a feel of the trials themselves. You have the castle, you have the different trials. I think only the first one takes place at the castle. The others kind of take place elsewhere. You have a hidden area I won't talk about. The castle grounds, just beautiful world building, a beautiful system that makes sense. Um, if you overexert your gift, you kind of get really fatigued, and worn down, and can't really call upon it until you've rested, which was interesting. So it's not a constant thing you can use nonstop. Uh, I love how there's a faith system in this book for witches. Witches, of course, their goddess is Hecate. or Hecate. I think it's Hecate. The Greek mythological goddess of magic, open doorways, midnight, crossroad, and witches. I think it's all the goddess of. I may have missed something. But it's pretty cool how the witches believe in her and they get their power from her. I really like that. Um, and also the reveal that there are demons in the world. I enjoyed that greatly because it was a kind of a twist I didn't see coming. It's not that big of a twist because we learn about it near the middle of the book, but it was interesting. We don't really learn much about them in particular, but other than that, the world building was really cool. The magic system, um, I can't stop talking about that because I have seen things to do with magic before in books that kind of fall flat. They're either too overpowered or they're kind of overlooked. And in a way, I think of Lord of Eternal Night, Ben Alderson's other book, when I think of the magic thing, because that book, magic was kind of an afterthought, but in this book, it's the main stage. So I really love that. Um, anyhow, the themes, the themes of this book. So we have themes of longing. Hector misses his mother and longs for her to be alive still. We have the slow burn enemies to lovers romance between him and Arwen as a theme. We have the theme of distrust throughout this book because Hector doesn't know who he can trust and who he can't trust. Deceit is a big theme in this book, that we kind of don't know about till later. um, the the magic theme was interesting. I think the witches, uh, storyline and plot theme was good. I haven't really read any gay romance that is like this book that is about witches and magic that puts it center stage. That was a really cool theme. And just all in all, I really enjoyed it. Now, strengths and weaknesses of this book. Oh boy. um the strengths are the main character Hector was very well done, very well written. Arwen being a mystery throughout majority of the book was very interesting. It was a good strength. The other witches kind of getting to showcase their gifts was also a good strength, I feel. And I really enjoyed it. I thought that the gift thing was cool. We didn't just focus on Hector, but other witches' abilities and powers. And I just honestly feel like it was a pretty cool factor. I've said this already. Um, again, characters were well written. I didn't have a problem with the characters. Weaknesses. The heat scene. I cannot stop thinking how crappy that was. It was dull, it was interesting, and it was kind of anticlimactic. And again, I don't understand why, because Ben is capable of writing interesting heated scenes, I think. And this book just didn't provide that. And I kind of feel like Ben could have left that out. He could have left out the heated scene and the book would have made sense. It wasn't a make or break factor. Um, it was honestly something I feel that was kind of fluff. It was kind of filler in a slight way. And I was surprised. I was really surprised in a letdown kind of way. So that's the weakness. Uh Overall, there were more strengths than weaknesses, so that's a plus. But the weakness was kind of a big one because it could have just been omitted and not used in the book, but he did it anyway. So who do I feel is the target audience of this book? Because of the heated scene, I would not place this with young adults. Also, the violence, which I didn't really talk about, but I feel like I have to be kind of careful talking about that kind of stuff on YouTube anyway. So I didn't really feel comfortable diving into that necessarily. But because of the violence and the language and the one heated scene, as crappy as it was, um, I would have to say adults, definitely. Um, I feel like if you like magic and witches and enemies to lovers, you're going to enjoy this book. If you like a book that only has one point of view, which is Hector, the main character, you're going to like this book. I know some people don't like dual point of view or more than two point of views. So this book is a one point of view type book. So if you're into that, hey, this is a good book for you. If you like a slow burn romance, this book is also for you, I think. You're going to enjoy it. Uh, but yeah, just if you're into that stuff, you're going to like this book. If you're into a book that has more than one part to it, um, and I want to say both parts are out. Book 1 and book 2 are both out. I think the second one's the demon and his snake. Um, they're both out, so if you enjoy that, this is a book for you. If you don't like books that have more than one part, you're not into magic, you're not into MM romance, don't read. I don't think I have to say this, but don't read this book. You're not going to enjoy it. Just saying. Would I recommend this book? Yes. I would definitely recommend this book. I feel it was an interesting read. It was very good. I love the thrill and the kind of, oh gosh, what is the word? The life and death kind of situation of this book. I love the secrets, I love the twists, I love the turns, and I think you, the viewer, will also enjoy it. Um, I think any reader of MM Romance who is an adult and into the things I said before will really enjoy this book as much as I did, if not more. So, I definitely recommend it. My rating, I have to give this a 4 out of 5 Rainbow Hearts. Specifically because of that very terrible, terrible heat scene. It was terrible. I'm sorry. And it's funny because I'm not even that much into heated scenes or parts of the book. If you have seen my review of Amanda Musin is Lover of the Gods, first book, Last Corazon of Olympus, you know I am not the kind of person that is really big on very heated, heavy scenes, but this one was just terrible. It was terrible. So yeah, 4 out of 5 Rainbow Hearts for The Witch and His Crow. Alright, that is going to be it for this review. I'm sorry if it felt a little clunky, a little rushed. I'm actually recording this the day I'm releasing it because I have missed the last, I think, 2 or 3 upload days. I apologize for that. And this Friday, July 17th, 2026, I am also releasing a versus book. I'm going to be comparing The Witch and His Crow to a book I've also previously reviewed on the channel, Death Ball by W.H. Lockwood and T.J. Rose. So I'm going to be recording that video probably sometime today and uploading it this Friday. So look forward to that. That will be a bit more to the point, a bit less kind of all over the place, hopefully. So I apologize for that. But if you made it to the end of this video, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I appreciate it more than you can imagine. If you enjoyed this somehow, make sure to leave a like on the video, hit that like button. And if you want to see more book reviews, hopefully better book reviews on the channel, or you want to see that versus video this Friday, make sure to hit the subscribe button and make sure to turn on notifications to all notifications, hit the notification bell, and I will see you this Friday, July 17th, 2026, with the Death Ball versus The Witch and His Crow video. Bye, everybody.